On this channel, I've said a fair share of debatable statements, which a lot of the time are heavily disagreed on. But like it or not, we all have our own opinions and things. While that's not necessarily a bad thing, no ride is truly the best because it's down to preference, which I still stand by. But what if I had to challenge the opinions I already had on the rides that I can't stand? Because, you know, we all spend a lot of time complaining about things, so I thought I would try and be more open-minded. I'm gonna take one for the team and find the best in rides that I heavily dislike, because they can't have no redeeming qualities, right? And I mean every ride, including that one. My main complaint for this roller coaster is genuinely just down to the fact it's obnoxiously overwhelming. I have tried to wear earplugs in the queue, and that does help to an extent, but I'm usually fed up before the coaster portion of the experience has even started. The soundtrack is nice when it's 4 minutes on my Spotify playlist, but when the smilers decided to break down while you're in the flashbang room and all you can hear is the sound of medical drills, you'd probably start to rethink your life choices too. The smiler is objectively enjoyable to look at, and I think that I get more from watching it than I do on the ride itself. It's very impressive, and while the colour scheme isn't my cup of tea, the Marmalizer, when everything is working, is very cool. I also really enjoy the first Heartline roll indoors, and then this other one that I don't know the name of. How very professional, Q4. Well. I've actually come around on flat rides recently. You're looking at a croc who's done every flat ride at Thorpe Park now officially. Everybody clap or I turn your local Tesco into a Waitrose. Zodiac is just one of those that I can't do. Last time I went on it, I took a motion sickness tablet before riding, and that definitely helped a fair bit. I enjoyed it better when I could focus on something other than the dodgy Aramark food I had before getting on it.
Pucker Pie's out here doing God's work. I absolutely adore their pies, they're so lush.
It's got some really good forces, and it's definitely recommended for those that like an intense spinning ride. But good God, it's just a bit too much for me. I've heard on the grapevine there's a bit of a cult behind this ride. It's a shame that it never reaches 90 degrees anymore, but it's pretty comfortable and has a great cycle. The ride design also used to be really pretty, but unfortunately over the years have gone, they've just picked at Zodiac. It used to be very pretty. Now it's kind of got carnival colors. I guess the main thing that I enjoy about Zodiac is the goofy ride design. You get to cosplay your dog going to Pets at Home by grabbing onto the bars.
Today and yesterday.
I usually enjoy water rides, but this one isn't it. None other than the GP magnet itself. I am curious, what is so appealing to the general public about this ride? The weather gets 2 degrees hotter and suddenly there's an abundance of shirtless men on the spinning skittle. My favourite part about Storm Surge has to be the fact that it takes Q away from the other rides near it, meaning that on a hot day I can sit on The Walking Dead with no problem and really nice AC. The theme is also pretty nice from the front. I enjoy the pipe work and the water effects. Just make sure when you walk under it, you're fast so that it doesn't piss on you.
But what you hadn't seen coming was Rita.
It's not even for the reason you think. I just find it far too intense. I can just about do this one, but I'd say that's my limit on intensity. The first turn hurts to an extent because of the forces alongside the rattle, but I haven't had it nearly as bad as others are saying. I actually think it's fine layout-wise. I mean, it's nothing imaginative, but it's not that bad. I guess my favorite part about Rita is the announcements before you shoot off. It's so iconic and even makes a cameo in the golf course. The train is also pretty, even though it's not an original design. I can appreciate the one part of green track as well, as green's my favorite color. Yes, I know I'm reaching here. I feel like this one might be the one that upsets people the most, and I'm sorry. It's nothing against the ride itself, I just can't personally do it. I did it one time and I'm scared to do it again. I will get round to doing it, but as of right now, I'm so fine without it. Stealth has a really nice stylization, and while I know a lot of launch coasters have a race theme, I think Stealth might be one of my favorite takes on it. It's not too obnoxious of a raceway, but just enough to get you excited for the roller coaster. The train design is also really iconic and clean. Stealth has had a fair bit of downtime recently, which really made me think about its potential closure. If Stealth was to be phased out, would people then enjoy Rita more, or would it just be even more backward? Because on the one hand it would be the only one, but then on the other hand people don't like Rita. The switch up would be crazy either way. It is a short layout, but that's the point, so I won't fault it. However, I wish the brake one was spread a bit further back so that the airtime hill didn't have to be trimmed, as it cuts in quite early, which is a bit sad, but it's not the end of the world. Listen, it's not for me, and that's okay. I might change my mind in the future, but right now, absolutely not. Sorry, Lightning McQueen. Here's the big one. No, not that big one. Saw the Ride has become a running joke on my channel. And if I had to name one coaster I genuinely get no enjoyment from, this would be the one. I try it every time I'm there, hoping for my opinion to mysteriously change, as I get forced on it regardless because it's one of my best mate's favorite rides. And look, I'm sure it was great for the first few years of operation, but Christ on a bike. While I can appreciate a rougher roller coaster like Colossus, I just cannot for Soar. I'm not saying there isn't occasions where it does run better, because there are, and it always happens when I'm taking someone on it for the first time and then I make myself look like an absolute cow. The ride just hates me, and that's okay. It's clearly intimidated by my huge physique, and I don't blame him. Jigsaw needs to hit the treadmill. When people talk about rough coasters at Thor Park, they usually take in Colossus and Soar, and I just think that they're completely different types of roughness. Soar is like body rough, whereas Colossus is more headbang rough. I can deal with the headbang rough. I cannot deal with the chest out of my seat. Disgusting. Absolutely not. I think I just notice it more on Soar because of the airtime, so it's just a combination of two things I really don't like. Colossus doesn't really have those airtime moments that Soar does. So when I'm being thrown out of my chair, I'm being absolutely yeeted into next week. My main issue with Soar are its roughness, air cannons, and ejector airtime in combination with the restraints. I don't enjoy the way that it staples my thighs, and on a summer's day I end up sticking better than flex tape. And you might say, oh well, Colossus also staples you. And yes, it does, but it's got a film over the top of it, so it's not as much of a foam rubber texture, which also stinks. John Wardley has made some absolutely world-class coasters, but I have no idea what happened with Soar. The only upside is that it's an airtime machine. So if you really like airtime, then you're more inclined to enjoy Soar. But to me, that's not a great thing, as I don't enjoy being viciously thrown out of my chair only to slam me back into the top of the restraint and then absolutely annihilate my butt cheeks. I hate Soar so much! Crash out aside, Soar has good theming, but they're paid to do that. Everybody say boo, intellectual properties. The indoor section is good. That is the one part I do like. There's a lot of kinetic energy from all the moving parts, like Billy on his tricycle, the blades, and then the syringes. Especially when you go over the poor man on the floor, and the water is a really interesting idea, and I respect it. You also might not notice while you're on ride, but the body on the ceiling is actually on the floor. And I think they paid good authenticity to the movies, and they have quite a few of the original prop pieces. One thing I would like to do on that VIP tour is put on the dusty track that Q4 hates Soar. But I challenge you to tell me one good thing about your least favorite ride, or just feel free to complain about it in the comments. I'll read them either way. Just try to remember that these were my opinion, and if you like them, then that's great. I'm glad you get more enjoyment out of them than I do. If you like this video or I made you laugh, consider checking out some of my other videos, or even subscribe, as there'll be more on the way soon. I hope you guys are all doing well. Take care, nerds.
Oh, do they know what time it is? Who is that? Why am I getting stuff for my birthday? That was last month. I'm still in space, you cow, but happy birthday, I guess. P.S. Flip you, there's no one to bully up here. Saw the ride? Now, why is Saw sending me love letters? What is this? Is this a threat? What is this? A key?
Ballerina cappuccina. Mi. È la moglie di Cappuccino Assassino e ama la musica la. La sua passione è il ballerino Lololo.